Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, and it's Sunday evening on the 4th of December. Well, take a look at that, hey? High pressure in, look at that. I've been predicting this for probably the last couple of weeks now, talking about a building pressure mid-month. I actually think that's a transitory area of high pressure. I don't think this is the main one. That's the chart for the 10th of December, so that's the chart for midday on Friday, but I just want to take you through some of the other charts today to show you what's kind of happening here. And there is a bit of a discrepancy between the models. This is the 7 to 10 day means from the ECMWF on the left here and the GFS on the right. Notice how the ECMWF has this ridge. Look, this is the period going from next Sunday through to the following Wednesday, so that's Wednesday the 14th. And look at this ridge that it's got in here. Still got the jet across the Atlantic, look, but this Omega block starting to build in here. GFS making a lot more of that ridge, look, putting the anomalies in there quite strongly across these eastern portions of Europe, below normal up towards the northwest of the UK here. That's resulting in this trough here out to the west, deepening, buckling up this flow from the south and building in this ridge all the time towards the east. So I actually think, I've been saying it was the 15th I thought we'd see a change, and although I think before that high pressure is going to be building in, I think probably that's a fairly mild high. And there'll be frosts overnight, but temperatures by day 6s and 7s. But I think the secondary high that gets in around about the 14th, 15th time, that's the one that could bring us a short spell, or potentially a short spell, of east or southeast winds, which would mean that conditions would be much, much cooler. Now, this idea of the transitory nature of the high is really picked out here. Look, this is the Arctic Oscillation, and notice how it stays in the positive territory, look, until this high gets in, look, around about the 10th, and then it slips into neutral territory. And the Arctic Oscillation is a measure of how strong the westerly winds are around the Arctic Circle. Positive when they're strong, negative when they're weak, and that brings in more of the easterlies. But look, you see that it's only quite short-lived, and then it comes into positive territory for dipping down here around the 16th. I think, don't take too much notice of the days. What we've got to look for here is this idea of it going neutral and negative, and then building up, look, briefly after that, and then trying to get back down more towards the negative territory. Notice how these various different runs, these thin lines here, are clustered around this sort of centre point, but one or two of them start to get nearer down to neutral. And I think that's what we need to watch. That's certainly what we need to be watchful for. Notice how the control run here, look, this blue line actually does take it back into negative territory. So I'm still reasonably confident that that's where we go, and I'll show you the detail from the GFS in a moment. This is the North Atlantic Oscillation. When the North Atlantic Oscillation is positive, then that's when we get westerly winds, so normal westerly winds across the Atlantic. When it goes negative, that's when high pressure builds in and we get easterlies going across. That's when we turn colder. So positive at first, look, dipping down into negative around the 10th, so the back end of the coming week, and then it picks up again before it falls off to get nearer neutral or negative later on. And again, this is giving the same sort of signal that, yeah, the high builds in, but it may not last for long, but then we get a secondary high coming in, and that's the one that is the main show in town, as it were. So let's just take you through the charts for the next few days. This is from Weather Online. It's from the GFS model. There's today. The time is up here, top left hand corner, look. So there's today, low pressure up towards the north. Watch what happens as we go through tomorrow. We've got these cold west to northwest winds coming in. Look where this source of air is coming from, just west of Greenland here. This is midnight on Wednesday, and these fronts that are coming through likely to produce snow across the hills of Scotland, perhaps even low levels. Hills of northern England, could be over the hills of Wales too. Might even be some wet snow down at low levels on and off as well. That clears eastwards on Wednesday, stays pretty breezy look through Wednesday, then a brief ridge builds in on Thursday before a complex low moves in through Friday, bringing very unsettled conditions. But notice it's always kind of Scotland, northern England northwards that really see the brunt of these unsettled conditions, and it's breezy as well. I think again we could see snow from this during Thursday over high ground, particularly across Scotland, and then that front moves through. Now, important thing to note for Friday, which I want you to watch overnight Thursday into Friday, look, the flow as that feature moves through midnight on Friday goes into the northwest. back edge of this feature here, so that would be through most of the country, Scotland, Northern England, the Midlands, East Anglia, possibly the South East. As this feature goes through, it's going to drag in cold air from the north. That could turn to sleet and snow on the back edge. So it could be Friday morning, many places, even on the low ground of central and southern England, could end up with some snow, a dusting of snow, but I'll keep you informed about that. Could be quite a tricky one, it could turn quite icy as well. Notice then the high building out towards the west. Look, here's our high building in. Now, this is important, watch what happens into the weekend. In comes the high. GFS has been pretty consistent on building this high in over the last few runs, so I can kind of buy this, and this is where our long range was taking us. In comes the high, but it's on kind of a south-southeast wind. It's coming from a relatively mild source, look here, across southern parts of Europe, so not overly concerned about daytime temperatures. Yes, there could well be fog, and if the fog lingers through the weekend, could be some very cold days, but I think overnight we're looking at frost. Could be -4s, -5s overnight through the weekend. Now, into Sunday and into the first part of the week after next, look, the high drifts eastwards into Europe. Then we get more of a southerly flow. Now, it may not make it feel drastically warm, but 7s and 8s by day potentially, although fog could still be a problem, particularly eastern England, much colder there. These fronts coming in from the west, watch what happens. In they come, pushing through Ireland. There they go through the UK, a very weakened feature. But then, look, the ridge gets back in again. Look, high pressure across much of Eastern Europe, extending across the North Sea and out into the Atlantic as well. Now, watch what happens. The GFS, I think, may have got this. This is about the 16th. Here's the high pressure over Scandinavia, look. And there we are. The winds going into more of a colder easterly direction. This could be the first real spell of wintry weather. So by that I'm talking about frost, I'm talking about cold days as well. Days that perhaps don't get above 2 or 3 degrees, overnight temperatures -3s, -4s. This is the first highlight really of the potential of, you know, kind of frozen, pipey sort of weather. Don't go over the top. This is not to the level of last year. I stress that, not to the level of 2010 yet. But it will be cold, and it's going to be feeling colder than it has done recently. Now, as always, this forecast is supported by the adverts you see around the site here. So you can do two things for me. One, if you see an advert you like, click on it, go through to the sponsor. That generates revenue for us, and it also shows the sponsor that you're interested in the site. Secondly, tell your friends, put it out on Twitter, Facebook, by email, whatever it might be about these videos. Tell them to come and watch, because the more people watching gives more value to the advertisers, and that means I can continue to do more videos, bring in other people to do videos, write some text, and keep this all free of charge for you. My aim throughout all of this is to give you more than a TV or a radio forecast gives you, and to give you more than you would see on any normal weather website. Let's face it, you can go on the internet, you can type in your postcode and get a generic forecast for your location, but what you're not getting is the added value of a forecaster or a weather anorak like me actually trying to explain what's going on. So that's what I'm trying to do. My aim would be to try and bring other people in to make videos as well, and also what I'd like to do, and this is hot off the press, is to get you blogging, is to get you actually giving me your weather reports via the website, get them on there so everybody can see, posting photos, posting your news about the weather, everything that's on there. So that's what I want to do, but I can only do it with your support. So thanks for watching. Keep the sun shining, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.